Okay, today we're going to work on the Track Legion Solid. Not the original Solid, but the new Solid. It's right here on the Track's homepage. Oops, I went too far. Hold on. Let's take a look at it. See what it's about. Hold on. Go to products and balls. There it is. All right. It says here, the Legion Solid's not a remake of the original Legion, but an improvement of one of the Track's most requested releases. This one features the same proven LT-2 core, so it's got the same core. So for those of you that like the original Legion, it's used the same core. But with a solid version of the prime response cover used in the proof line. For those of you that used some of the proofs, I guess. The updated cover gives the Legion Solid the same mid-lane reaction as the original with an extra kick-down lane. We all like extra kick-down lanes, so that's good. Performance is upper mid, color is deep purple. And actually, when I first seen the image online, I didn't really think much of the look of the ball, but actually seeing it in person with the kind of the highlight or the lime green or high vis green with the purple looks pretty good. Solid reactive, we talked about that. The steps that it takes for the finish is 500, 2000. For those of you that don't know, when they talk about steps, so when they get to the finished surface, that what you're gonna have on the bowling ball when you get it out of the box, they'll have a 500, in this case they'll have a 500 pad, and then they'll go straight from the 500 pad to the 2000 pad. Now what that does, to my knowledge, anybody can feel free to correct me, so let's say you took 500, then 1000, then 1500, then 2000. You're gonna actually end up with a slicker type of 2000 that's probably gonna shine up a little faster versus going from 500 straight to 2000. You might have a little bit less of a chance for it to shine up so fast. So I would say overall, if you compare this to a ball that went 500, 1000, 1500, then 2000, it's gonna be a pinch, that ball might be a pinch longer than this one versus going from 500 straight to 2000. I think it's gonna have a little more time before it shines up with the oil and the friction of the lane and whatnot. So that's my impression of how the steps work. So when I say those steps, that's the reason. I know that some of you want to know the steps, so that's why I bring it up. Lane condition, medium to heavy oil. Reaction, strong mid lane and back end. And of course, 2-year warranty.
And I have to apologize. My mic that I was using went dead. So I'm gonna do a little voiceover on this part and make it go fast. I'll still give you the information I was talking about on there. It talks about extra kick down lane, and I was getting ready to talk about the dot technology, and there's my layout. That's what it looks like. It's gonna pop up here in a second. But so basically, this ball, they made an original Track Legion Solid, and now they're redoing another Track Legion Solid, color deep purple. The core is LT2. My layout there, 55 by 5 by 35. That's what I went with. Went with 55 first to get a little length. I knew I was going to leave it box surface. It does come, what does it come? 2000 finish. It goes, I talked about it earlier, 500 to 2000. I wanted to make sure it got length, so I gave it a 55 on the first number. 5 for the same reason. I wanted to delay the flare a little bit and store energy good, and then 35 on the back, which is kind of a typical number for me. And so that was lane 13 and 14. And one of my other videos I explained lane 13 and 14 was bad. I went ahead and left one of the shots in there to show you how straight it was going. But then we went to 7 and 8, which I'd made my last couple of videos. You've seen some shots on 7 and 8. This is the same day. It was a little bit used. I had a few games on it, but that was it. And so to give a much better look on the read of what you would see with this ball. So Anyway, it's a reactive cover, solid cover stock, strong to mid lane and back end. It talks about the extra pop on the back end. So the funny thing about this ball, I was really excited about doing this video. First of all, I'm doing this video out of a request. Somebody wanted to see a review on this ball. I'm not, I'm still kind of new at growing my channel, so one of my early requests, I definitely wanted to honor that, so that's why I'm doing it. So I got this ball fresh, took it to bowling alley, bowled league with it, and the first few shots off my hand, I was like, man, this ball's not doing much. I was kind of disappointed for about 3 or 4 shots. And even some people that were there with me was asking me, man, what do you think? I'm like, I don't know, it doesn't seem like much. And then I just literally, I don't think I've ever seen a ball come to life like I seen this one. Like, for a solid ASIM, I mean, it's not weak by any means. I did have the impression that it wasn't going to be super strong, which is good. I don't, need super strong solids a whole lot. I mean, I do like to have them in my arsenal, but I don't really need them a whole lot. But knowing that this wasn't going to be that, I was pretty excited about. Like I said, the layout I laid out to try to get more use out of it. But man, did this thing come alive. I went from thinking, man, this ball ain't doing much, to holy cow. Like, this ball, for a solid ASIM, man, it turns a corner. It's so continuous. Probably the closest thing I've seen to this, it would be the Hellcat. The Hellcat stores energy and is really versatile, and this don't go as long as the Hellcat, and it's not as angular as the Hellcat, but and it's not even as strong as the Hellcat. But when I say it reminds me of it, it reminds me of how well the Hellcat stores energy and continues down lane for a strong, solid ASIM. So it is once I got it going, you see I'm inside 4th arrow there, and I mean, I left a 10 pin on that one, but I just needed to make a little adjustment for that. But I mean, it don't quit. This ball don't quit. So I mean, by the time practice was over and I started, I was letting go of the ball and coming back with my eyes like, holy cow, this ball's something. Really impressed with it. I definitely take it to league with me. Look, I threw that ball horrible. Apologies. Whoops. But I take it to league with me. It's something that, even though it's smooth, it's super continuous down lane. And what I mean by that is, it comes off the break point. It's not sharp. It doesn't jump, which is fine. That's good. Jumping off the break point can get you in trouble. But it comes off the break point and just turns left and goes. Like, it don't quit. It just keeps going left. And a lot of solids, when you leave surface on it, they tend to, you get left and you can't get the ball to really change direction real well, which this one will. A couple of shots there, it looked like and that wasn't the ball's fault, that was me. But yeah, so this one here, versatile. That's the one word that comes to mind. When I think of this ball, I think it's going to be usable for a lot of bowlers. It's not, depending on what's in your arsenal, it's not going to be the strongest thing you can buy, but it's going to be plenty strong, like plenty strong. The first night I used it, I know by game 3 I probably needed to put it away, but I really like taking these balls and testing their limits and seeing how far left I can get, seeing how, if I just trick it a little bit, can I still get it through the pins? And I was able to do that. I think I shot like 720 or something like that night, which isn't nothing crazy to get excited about, but I mean, I was able to get in and get the ball to go through the pins. You see some shots there going high there. That's totally me. I needed to move left. Just kept reusing it. So I'll put in a little comparison here. I got the Radical Innovator here. So the Radical Innovator, it's a little sharper off the spot, as I was talking about the smoothness of the Legion. They're both very continuous. They both have plenty of teeth, but as you would think, the difference between a solid with surface versus a shiny pearl. The shiny pearl is more angular and sharper off the spot. I play a very similar area for the two balls, but You know, if I need something to be a little bit sharper off the spot, I go to the innovator. If I want it to be smoother and a little more, just a hair more predictable, but still continuous, I can go to the Legion Solid. I think I throw another shot here with the Innovator. The Innovator is a really good ball. I know some of you have watched my video with the Innovator. If you haven't, go check that out. It's a really awesome ball. All these balls are in my bag right now to go to League. There's been some really good releases lately. See, when it makes its moves just a little sharper than the Legion Solid. They get to about the same spot. You play pretty close to the same spot on the lane, but you just change your angle a little bit. Alright, now I compared it here to the Verge Solid. Verge Solid's a little bit stronger than the Legion Solid. But the Verge Solid is a little more arcing. They're both smooth, but the Verge Solid reads earlier and is a little more overall rolling archy, versus the Legion Solid is a little bit longer than the Verge Solid and will come off the break point. I don't want to say harder, but I mean it really does, I guess. See? The balls are really nice. So I'll tell you what, I recommend this for a lot of people, depending on what you want. If you're looking for a asymmetrical solid that you can use all over the lane, then that's this. If you want something big and tumbly and rolly, then this is not it. But if you want the solid to stay a little bit smoother, but you still want to keep a continuation down lane, this ball's money, you know, and that would be what I'd recommend it for. So as the video continues on, I just like to urge you to get with your local pro shops. This ball became available the moment I'm putting this video out on October 21st. So it will be available in your local pro shops. Make sure your PSOs, checking your PAP and drilling it the way you want. I'm very satisfied with my layout at 55 by 5 by 35. Your 55 by 5 by 35 won't necessarily look like mine, but you know, you can make it read a little bit earlier if you want and drop that first number and that middle number, maybe make it a little more rounded, or you can keep it kind of similar to what I did there. And whatever you're looking for, I just think this ball is going to be really versatile for a lot of people. You hook it a lot, if you don't hook it a lot of speed, not much speed. You know, you can just change the surface and kind of adjust it to your game. It's already going to be right in that middle of the road. It's about as much of a benchmark ball as you can get with an asymmetrical. I know a lot of people like to call their symmetrical balls the benchmark balls, but for an asymmetrical, this is about as benchmark as you can get for me. So once again, thank you for all the subscribers. Subscribe, like, and subscribe and share, and I will see you on the next one. I've got a few surprises coming out and hope you enjoyed this one. Boom out.